Man, this season is flying by. Let's get to the picks and let's get to some news. What news? I don't know. What is up, football fans, Finn fans, other fans of other teams that are potentially watching this picks video? Dad's not here today. I was super busy today. I'm going to take the blame for this one. Super busy today. So I had a lot of things to do after work. I couldn't coordinate with my father to get him in the videos. He will be in next week's pick videos. I promise you that. So I have our picks. I have a few little news and notes, some Dolphin news and notes. I'm also got a new microphone up here. Got a light on my camera. Hopefully everything looks better. Hopefully everything sounds better. Sprucing it up. First thing, merch. Link below. I'm actually getting some merch for myself, paying money to myself or to the company to get myself some merch so I can rock my merch so you guys can see it. If you want any merch, linked below where it says merch. The other thing, Ginkle and Davenport are the two guys who are coming back from injured reserve. Really great to hear. I'll go into more full detail, into more depth on that with tomorrow's preview video when we take on the Buffalo Bills. Got some more players coming back from practice. Got some news and notes about Rashad Jones, but this is a picks video. So I'll talk about that tomorrow in my preview video, but I just really wanted to get excited and reiterate that Van Ginkle is coming back from IR, and so is Davenport. Those are the two guys that are coming back from the IR. Super, super cool. Let's get into the picks. Last week, complete and utter Lake Titicaca. Horrible. I did horrible. Me and my dad both did 6 and 7. I went 11-2, 12-2, or 11-2 one week. Last week, my dad did really well. I think he went like 10-3, 11-3. Did really well this week. Both laid eggs. So my dad's record, which I have written down by my feet, 89-59. Really good still. We know how to pick games. I'm 93-55. I'm better at him than picking games. I'm up on him by 4 games. So let's jump into these games. Let's jump into tonight's game. So I have the spread on my phone, and I have our picks in my hand. So it's going to be it's going to be fun. Lots of edits. Some of you guys said you want to see bloopers at the end of this. Maybe I will. Maybe if my bloopers are really stupid and get cut out. But I'm getting really good at straight shooting it, going right through, not having to do a lot of cuts. So let's talk about tonight's game. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers heading to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are getting 3. Or giving 3. They're giving 3. The Cleveland Browns are giving 3 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Mika Fitzpatrick's killing it. I'm not going to hate on him. It is what it is. He didn't want to be here anymore. We got a first. I feel like that is good capital for Mika Fitzpatrick. We'll give you Mika Fitzpatrick. What if the Dolphins use that first round pick we got from the Steelers and give it to the Jets for Jamal Adams? I'm just saying. Be a good trade. Just something to think about. Just think about it a little bit. So we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns. So the Cleveland Browns are actually doing really well, bouncing back. They beat the Buffalo Bills last week. That's who the Miami Dolphins are playing this week. So doing better, getting that continuity. Everyone thought they were on a downhill slope with all the stuff that they were dealing with. Me and my dad are still going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one, though. Even though they're playing in Cleveland, we still like the way the defense is playing. Now, the Steelers' defense is playing well. Good pass rush, good everything on the Steelers' defense. It's the offense that's struggling a little bit. James Conner might be back, but they're still struggling. They're still struggling there. Then we have the Denver Broncos heading to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Denver Broncos struggling. Minnesota Vikings doing well, beating the Dallas Cowboys. The Vikings are giving 10.5. Me and my dad are both taking the Vikings on this one. It's just the Vikings are doing better, and it seems like the right choice. You know, the Broncos do have a pretty good defense. It's their offense that are killing you. So there's that. Then you got the Cowboys heading to Detroit to take on the Lions. I have no spread here for that one. Maybe I'm making it too early. You guys help me out. So you guys always comment below. Let me know. I have no who's given what or what that, but I can always assume. I feel like the Cowboys, in my mind, would be giving points here. I think the Cowboys are just a little bit better than the Detroit Lions. I think that the Detroit Lions, they had Stafford out last week. I picked them to win last week, and then Stafford went out. Then my pick kind of looked really stupid because they ended up losing. But you got the 5-4, 3-5-1. I'm going with the Cowboys with this one. My dad's going the Lions. I guess he thinks Stafford coming back would be the best for them, but yeah. Then we got the Atlanta Falcons, the 2-7 Atlanta Falcons, heading down to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Cam Newton is done for the year. The Atlanta Falcons surprised the world and beat the Saints. I had Drew Brees as my starting quarterback on fantasy. I officially hate fantasy football because I had Freeman and Drew Brees, and Freeman got knocked out of injury, and Drew Brees sucked it up. Like you didn't score. You threw over 200 and something yards. You're not going to score a touchdown for me, Drew Brees? Come on. My dad's going to take the Falcons in this one. I'm going to take the Panthers. A little bit of disagreement there. Always helps with the pick records. My dad is going to take the Falcons. I guess he likes what they did against the Saints, and he thinks that they could do it against the Panthers. I still like Christian McCaffrey. I still like, Kyle Allen. If they do their things right and they play right, I like the Panthers, and I think the Falcons are going to regress a little bit after that crazy upset game. Then we got the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Indianapolis to take on the Colts that the Miami Dolphins beat last week. Yes, Brissett was out. Yes, T.Y. Hilton was out. We still won, and I will take that win. My dad's going to take the Colts. Brissett's out. Brissett should be back. I don't know about T.Y. Hilton, but they're going to be, they should be a little bit healthier. They should be a little bit more dynamic. They should be playing a little bit harder. But I'm going to take the Jaguars. Why would you take the Jaguars, Doug? It's because Nick Foles is back. Minshew is officially a backup again, and Nick Foles is back. I think that spark with Nick Foles is really going to help the Jaguars topple over the Indianapolis Colts. So I'm taking the Jaguars. Colts are giving 3 in that one. Sorry. And before the Panthers are giving 5.5 in that one. Then we got the New York Jets heading to Washington to take on the Redskins. Jets beat the Giants. Jamal Adams had a lot to do with the Jets beating the Giants, snatching that football out of Daniel Jones's hand and run that back for a touchdown. Really, really ridiculous. My dad is taking the Redskins in this one. Now, I don't know if he's taking the Redskins in this one just because of his hatred for the Jets, but my dad is taking the Redskins in this one. I'm going to take the Jets in this one. I like the Jets' defense better, and we'll see if Haskins can actually become something, but I'm still going to stick with the Jets' defense. Also, a little bit more news, football news. The Jets owner and their GM has already confirmed and have already backed up Adam Gase will be back next year. I'm sorry, Jet fans. You're going to be stuck with Adam Gase for another year. Another year. Jet Talk 24/7, I think his name is. He called that. He made a video yesterday where he was talking about redoing or the rebuild for this offseason with the Jets, and he said that that Adam Gase wasn't get fired. He made that video yesterday, literally probably a couple hours before they announced that Adam Gase will be back again. So Jets, I think it's Jet Talk 24/7. If I'm wrong, if I pronounce it not wrong, I'm sorry, but he called that. He really did call that. But I'm taking the Jets, and my dad's taking the Redskins. Then we have the Saints versus the Bucks. And I'm mad. I'm mad at the Saints. Drew Brees, you got me 9 points. Seriously, 9 points. My fantasy football team is just completely. If I told you who was on my team when the season started, you'd be like, "Wow, you're gonna win. You're gonna win a lot of games." I think I won like 3 because Drew Brees screwed me royally, and he screwed me last week. I'm mad at you, but I'm still taking. Me and my dad are still taking the Saints. The Saints are giving 5.5. They're in Tampa to take on the Bucks. I'm still taking the Saints, but I'm mad at them. I'm mad at you. Then we got the Houston Texans heading to Baltimore to take on the Ravens, and Lamar Jackson and his craziness of him doing all his spins and running back moves, but he's still a quarterback, but he still has crazy rushing yards. I think he's on par with the top rushing running backs in the NFL, but he's the quarterback. But he's still great with his legs and stuff, but he's a quarterback. You better not call this man a running back. Me and my dad both taking the Ravens. We honestly both think that they're going to beat the Houston Texans. The Texans, this is going to be a good game. Lamar Jackson versus Watson is going to be a good game. 2 mobile quarterbacks, 2 dynamic quarterbacks. But I think it's the defense. For me personally, I don't know about my father. It's the defense that's going to help with the Ravens getting pushed over, who are 7-2, taking on the 6-3 Texans. That's actually a really good game. What time is that? 1 o'clock? I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to be watching my Bills versus Dolphins. But if you're watching the live stream, I'll talk about it and I'll chirp in some of the scores. Then we got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the now non-undefeated 49ers. They lost to the Seahawks last week. I picked that one. 49ers are giving 11 in this one. They're the home team. Me and my dad are both taking the 49ers. Kyler Murray's playing better. He's doing much better. You could see he's starting to get acclimated to the speed and everything of the NFL. But it's still, the 49ers lost that because of their kicker against the Seattle Seahawks. And it sucks, but they're still a really good team. I could see them going deep into the playoffs, maybe even Super Bowl. How cool would that be to see the 49ers in the Super Bowl again? Then we got the Cincinnati Bengals heading to Oakland to take on the Raiders. The Raiders are giving 10.5 points. Now, AJ Green hasn't practiced much this week, but John Ross is back. Andy Dalton came out and said that the reason he was benched is he said that the coach told him they want to see what the future tells, the draft, what they can do with the draft. So I guess they want to see what they have in these young quarterbacks. But, a lot of people are like, well, no, they're tanking. I'm not going to talk about it. But my dad is going to take the Raiders in this one. I'm going to take the Raiders too. This might be a close game. This might be a little bit, because the Raiders tend to fall on their face sometimes, and this is one of the few games that the Bengals can actually win. There's some games on the Bengals schedule that you look at it and you're like, hey, they could pull a win off, especially AJ Green comes back with John Ross coming back. They could win this one, but it's not this one. Then we got the Patriots heading to Philly to take on the Eagles. Patriots just came off a bye. Patriots are giving 3.5. Me and my dad are both taking the Patriots. We would absolutely love for the Eagles to beat them, just like the Ravens did. But they're coming off their bye. They're probably pretty pissed about losing to the Ravens, so they're going to probably pull out something and go after them. Then the Sunday night game, the Chicago Bears taking on the LA Rams in LA. LA's giving 6.5. Me and my dad are both taking the Rams in this one. Last week I said that I picked the opposite of the Bears because I didn't like Trubisky, and then Trubisky made me look like a big dum-dum. But I think the Rams defense is a little bit stronger, and I think that's going to be it's going to be like a 13-10 win by the Rams. It's going to be an extremely defensive game. And then Monday night, we got the Chargers hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are giving 3.5 in this one. Chiefs, I'll say this, and I watched the video of that field goal, and that Titans player was offsides as a mother. And now, if you're a Titans fan, I get you're going to be telling me I'm wrong, but I watched it. I'm unbiased. He was offsides like a mother. Chiefs could have won that game. You never know. Let them re-kick it. Put them a little closer, let them re-kick it. But Chiefs lost to the Titans. My dad's taking the Chargers. I'm taking the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs in this one. Chargers, they beat the Packers, which screwed up one of my picks. But I honestly think that Mahomes and the dynamic playability of that man, it's going to be a good game, but I like the Chiefs in this one. And then finally, we have the Miami Dolphins hosting the Buffalo Bills. They almost beat Buffalo up in Buffalo, so that is interesting. My dad's taking the Dolphins. My dad takes the Dolphins every week because my dad loves his Miami Dolphins. For me, I'm taking... You'll have to find out tomorrow. See how I do that? Kind of gets you interested. Kind of drags you into watching my preview video for the Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills part 2. That'll be tomorrow, probably around like 11 noonish. I like to do premieres. Like I'm doing a premiere for this one. So all my guys over here, how you doing? I like to do premieres so I can sit and chat with you guys because I can't go live when I'm at work. So I do these premieres. But be sure to comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know about the picks. Let me know about the news. Foles coming back. Let me know what you think about the Watson, Lamar Jackson battle that's happening. Let me know your picks, who you're for, who you're against. If I pick for your team, if I picked against your team, comment below. Let me know. And let me get to one of your guys' comments of the day. And this comment comes from Joshua. And Joshua says to me, you mentioned a day or two ago that Fitz was putting his whole body into throws. I definitely saw that in the Indy game. That said, old man was throwing darts. That's the thing about Fitzpatrick. He is up there in age. He's about a 15-year vet. His body isn't going to be playing like it has been about 4 or 5 years ago. Now, you could see sometimes when he throws the ball, it looks like a duck. Sometimes it hits players in the feet because it just don't get to them at the velocity that it used to. Again, a lot of you guys asked me, is Josh Rosen going to play again this season? I honestly think he will. Just because of that factor alone. Also, he's on the injury report, which I'll talk about again tomorrow, talking about his shoulders getting sore and all this stuff. So, he might be on the team again next year as a mentor role and an emergency backup. But, yeah, he's getting up there in age. But he is ridiculous dynamic. So if you guys notice, he's making the passes that he needs to, and if nothing's open, he's taken off, like that touchdown run he had on his own. So I said this when we signed him, that it just proved that we're not doing what everyone's saying we're doing, because the man's going to win his games on his own, and he did it twice. It's the Jets and the Colts back to back. Will he do it some more? It's yet to be seen, but so far I'm happy. But thank you for the comment. Patreon, if you guys want to check that out, don't feel like you need to donate. I am going to be making specific Patreon videos for you guys. Maybe during the draft, I'll also do some specific breakdown videos for you Patreon guys. There's different levels. I might do higher levels for guys that I'll have them come on live stream with me if you are a higher Patreon. But I do have a Patreon below. Be sure to check that out. Also, along with the merch, I'm going to get my own merch, like I said. I know 2 of you guys ordered merch. If you did order merch, be sure to send me a picture of you wearing it, and I will pop it up in the video. So be sure to check that stuff out. Be sure to check me out on Twitter. Retweet everything that I see Miami Dolphins. Give my little tidbits on it, like the Ginkle coming back. The whole, I think yesterday we had a whole discussion about, is a hot dog a sandwich? And then Omar Kelly said that a hot dog isn't a sandwich because a sandwich is only a sandwich if there's vegetables on it. And I was like, what are you talking about? So be sure to follow me on Twitter. I talk about all these things. Be sure to check out the Bit Boys. I don't know if we broke 500 subs yet. As of me recording this, I don't know. I haven't checked, but be sure to check them out. I know I've been slacking drastically on Madden play, but I've been super busy with work and making these videos. These videos come first and foremost to me, but be sure to check it out. I feel like we should hit the subscribe button. We got Luigi's Mansion 3 going on over there. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you like these picks videos. If you don't like the picks videos, if you think it's boring, and if I notice that there's like a downfall in views and likes and stuff, I might stop doing them, because then I notice you guys don't like them. So be sure to give this a thumbs up. It lets me know you guys like this content and you like what I'm doing. Also, because you want your team to win, regardless who your team is, give this video a thumbs up because of that. Check out Dolphins Talk. Check out Sportscaster. 2 extremely great sites. Sportscaster is a live streaming site that I also simulcast on while I live stream here. And Dolphins Talk is a great Dolphins website that has podcasts, has beat writers, has me, TD, and a lot of other Dolphin YouTubers on there. So be sure to check that out. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. If you guys notice, I do this at the end of the video because I don't like being one of those YouTubers who says it at the beginning. And because I'm not going to tell you to do it if you don't. And then what if you don't like the content? So I do it at the end. So I don't even know if you guys are watching this at this point. Sometimes I don't even know if you guys make it to the end of the video. So subscribe if you haven't yet. And other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow with my breakdown of the Buffalo Bills taking on the Miami Dolphins. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.